Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the JobJar, quick videos that give you basic tips on all aspects of finding a job, right from researching through to post-interview tips and more. My name is Robert North, and these videos are brought to you by the awesome people at the YMCA of Simcoe Muskoka's Midland Employment Services, and they're supported in part by Employment Ontario. Before we get started, if you are watching this on any kind of social media, we would really appreciate you liking, commenting, and of course sharing this video so that more people just like you can see the content and that we can connect more job seekers and employers in our area. So the concept behind the job jar, if you aren't aware, is that each video I'll pull a subject on job seeking out of our job jar here, and then we'll give you some quick pointers around the subject. Nothing too heavy, nothing too involved, just the basics. And as always, we are always available at the Midland Employment Center to help you more in depth on any questions that you have on the subject that we present here or any aspect of your job seeking journey. So with that, let's get started. So today's subject from the job jar is going to be tough interview questions. I originally wrote interview questions, but I could be here for the rest of the week doing that. But tough interview questions. And actually, I could spend probably the next 3 or 4 hours on tough interview questions, but our format here doesn't really allow for that. So I guess best thing to do would be give you some advice on one tough question, common one, and we'll cover more the next time I pull that topic from the jar. So there's many questions that job seekers may find tough in an interview, but some are obviously a lot tougher than others. One common one that you may get is what is your greatest weakness, and sometimes combined with what's your greatest weakness and how do you deal with it. So that is a toughie. A potential employer is asking you basically to tell them something negative about yourself, but it's a very common question in interviews, so it's one that you should be prepared for. So a couple of things. First off, don't say that you don't have any weaknesses or can't think of any. That's ridiculous. We all have flaws and weaknesses, and the interviewer, while it may seem that they're just being provocative and perhaps looking for something to nail you on, they're looking for one of two things: either red flags or a complete lack of self-awareness. So either one of those are a bad thing to have show up in an interview. So there's basically two approaches that you can take to this question. First, you can quote something that's not really going to be relevant to the position as a weakness. So, for example, if you're interviewing for a position in a job that deals with finance, you could answer that maybe your greatest weakness might be shyness. You're excellent with attention to detail, and you can rock an Excel file like no one's business, but you're probably not the one to do kind of public speaking. So you just answered the question, but your answer can't be used against you, and it's reasonable. So that's one example of how you can approach that. And the other approach that you can take on this question is to cite a weakness that you found a way to overcome. So, for example, you could say that very early on that you realize that your memory is not the greatest, but you've developed tools to overcome it that you use. Like you take excellent, really detailed notes and you review those notes. You use a lot of scheduling and organizational software and that kind of stuff. So again, you've identified a weakness, but you've also explained how you deal with it. And in most cases, the interviewers will appreciate both your honesty and your self-awareness. Self-awareness is pretty important in any kind of employment environment. And like any interview question, for the love of Pete, don't lie. Have an answer ready, but don't try to make stuff up. If it's discovered down the road that you've lied, or even if the interview decides to ask you to elaborate, and it turns out that you may be stretching things, it's all bad news. So don't lie on a tough question or any question in an interview. So like I said, we'll return to other tough questions the next time we pull that item from the job jar. But for now, the Midland YMCA Employment Center is always ready to help you with thinking about interview questions or any aspect of your search journey, your job search journey. You can reach us at 705-528-0845. Or you can email us at midlanderc@gmail.com. at sm.ymca.ca, and we'd be happy to give you a hand with your job search. Again, if you're seeing this video on social media, we'd really appreciate you liking, commenting, and sharing so that more people just like you can see this type of content. And with that, we will see you again on the Job Jar soon, and be well.